Alrighty, so here we have, there we go, focus, bracket, bonnet lock striker, left hand and right hand. So this is the bag, so we'll pull that out. Check it out here. So it definitely lines up. That's the front there where the wedge is. So holes are in the right spot where they were drilled. And I don't have the screws for the left hand or the right hand one, but I have the screws for the left hand one, and I test fitted it and it did go. See, there it goes. That goes into the pre-existing holes with the nuts. HNS 405. So 405 means it's a 1/4 of an inch by 5/16 long, I believe. So it's a 1/4 of an inch, and that would be UNF threads. So, oh, look at that. It's written right on there. 4 1/4 inch by 28 TPI thread per inch nuts. So we're looking for 1/4 inch nuts. Universal fine thread. That is what the captive nuts need to be. Just for giggles, I set up the hinge. It's all loose, so. But it doesn't use the, it uses holes that exist. It doesn't use the same holes that need the captive nuts, which are for the two, whatchamacallits, for the two plates that accept the, for the traditional hood. Well, I still want to be able to reverse this, so I'm still going to put those captive nuts in. This will definitely work because those fit, and this will work. Ian said he had this piece remade a little longer, which I can also do. We'll see what it's like when it's on. That's an easy thing to do. But yeah, all the pieces seem to be there. That seems to go together. But the captive nuts are in. It's the best access I could get. I even tried coming through the hole there a little bit, but did the best we could. So I'm going to put the wedge on now and get this thing going on to the next step. Alrighty, so a little bit of heat transfer there. So these are, as you saw, the raw welds. That one's a little rough, but there we go. Just tack it along. It's all lined up. So you almost ready to go on. I need to grab this hole punch right in there. Punches holes for the purposes of plug welds. So what I've done is I've punched holes here in the frame for these. So those are going to go in and be backer plates. I'm going to put them on the frame first. By the way, you can see what I'm doing here. These are going into the frame together. Good. Air hose well away from sparks. there we go. That's plug welded in. Here, I'll quickly show you. Let's see where it is. Plug welds. And this will fit perfectly right on top of that. There we go. Just like that. But before I do that, I'm going to bolt the radiator up between the two to make sure the radiator fits when it's actually attached. I don't want to put the brackets in and I have to fiddle around to get the radiator to fit. So that's the next thing. All right, so I got her all measured and tacked in place. So what I did is I took my trusty tape measure. It's 8.5 inches from the plate to the end. So from there to there, 8.5. This one here, the old original one, 8.5. Then I got between the original, this is always fun trying to do this with one hand, between the original cross members, it's exactly 12. Exactly 12. Exactly 12. So I put it in there. I locked it in place with the vice grip. Then I tacked. Actually, what I did was I did the plug welds, tacked the corner. I'll do the last two plug welds, and I'm going to do a straight weld on it. Straight weld. No little tacks this time because I have a backing plate. I just ran it up, filled the gap, and over. So start from bottom up. I did across the top first, then I did bottom up on both sides. So now that it's on, I just want to point out, look at the difference. This is the old one, and of course you can see it's all over it. And yes, by the way, the radiator did fit. I didn't show fitting it because it was a bit of a nightmare with the old rusty bolts and stuff. It was just watching me swear a lot. But anyway, but look at the difference from the newer type radiator support and the older type. Like, it's not even close. The holes line up. The radiator ends up in the same spot. It's just from the top, it has to slide down, whereas this one just kind of went in. This one's obviously got a lot more heft to it. So, and the wedge didn't come out too bad. So yeah, we're gonna grind it. It's supper time now. It's beer o'clock, and tomorrow I have the British Car Club guys coming. We're gonna take a look at the car and we're gonna have some fun. So I'll be back at this right after that's done.
I love that everybody that came down today was friends. We're all red, yeah. And if you go along, your first four-way stop is Prince Edward. Your second four-way stop is...
There we go. She's lit up. All right, so yesterday the British Car Club guys came for a visit, went over the vehicle, yada yada. Today I'm going to get back to putting on the second frame arm here. So I got to cut the old one off. I've marked it, and we want to make sure it's all on the straight thing. So I've got a line marked here. That line is marked at 5/8 of an inch away. I've got the other frame arm. It's over here. This came off of one of the other parts cars. So we're gonna cut it. Actually, I'm gonna cut it too long. I'm gonna cut it basically right at this, and then I can nibble it back to get the right length. Make sure that sandblast everything. All right, so this old one's scrap. I had to fiddle around a little bit because it's tight to get the grinder into that spot there, but managed to do it. Let's get this piece cleaned up. And the second frame horn is all sandblasted at the inside, marked the size of the hole. It's the edges of the hole are 1/2 inch in from each side, so it's not quite 1 inch across. I've marked it accordingly, and then I've also marked the holes for the side for the captive nuts. So we're going to start drilling her out now. Now I'm going to get the step bit and go to 7/8 of an inch on that. And as my vacation ends, we can see the raw welds. Haven't dressed them yet. Got both of these on, and the radiator, hold on. So as we can see, these are all in. You can see the raw welds there. I haven't dressed these yet. Those are just on the nose pieces. They're all welded in, and I checked it, so you can see the holes actually line up. There's one there, I just have to hold it up a little bit, and then the other one here, they hole. So the original radiator lines up, which means that any subsequent ones will as well. So everything's in the right spot. The one thing I forgot was the 2 captive nuts on the side of the second frame horn, but I can put those in when I put this thing up on the rotisserie. The next thing that's going to happen, but not today, my vacation is drawing to a close. I had a week off to work on the car, and got quite a bit done, got to where we are, and now I gotta go back to work. So it's gonna be a bit more before I get around to, the next step's gonna be building that frame, all the cross bracing for the inside, so that I can put this thing up on the rotisserie. There's a piece of the rotisserie there. There's a piece of the rotisserie here. Of course, that goes on the bracket. So that hopefully will happen maybe in a week or so. Don't know if I made a note of this earlier, but I certainly should. The bumper brackets are in place. I've put them in to make sure that just a little bit of extra support when this thing goes up onto the rotisserie.